Yoshimoto is a talent agency thousands of young talents hope to get into. Its history spans over a century. Their name is ubiquitous in showbiz, and they've shaped modern Japanese comedy as we know it. Let's take a look at how they came to be. Yoshimoto Taizo and his wife Sei are the founders of Yoshimoto. Taizo was born into a family of kitchenware wholesalers and Sei rice sellers. Taizo had little interest in becoming a salesperson. His passion was in comedy and entertainment. Sei supported his dream and they planned to open their own comedy theater. They took out a loan and bought a small theater in 1912. During this time, there were two groups of rakugo performers. Basically, one that was welcoming of new forms of comedy and one that wasn't. Yoshimoto wasn't originally involved, but caught the opposition's eye with their low prices and varied performances. Yoshimoto marketed themselves as the cheapest place for laughs for everyone. The Yoshimoto couple weren't stupidly idealistic though. They knew charging a third of the average ticket price would land them in the red. But they innovated new methods to profit. Firstly, they were very open to new talent. They were willing to give anyone a shot if they personally thought they were good enough. And Sei was a legendary ochako. She sold snacks, drinks, and was able to seat 3 times the average maximum number of people. Their success allowed them to expand rapidly, buying more theaters. By 1920, Yoshimoto officially supported the Sanyuha and bought their theater. The following year, the leader of the opposition passed away. Yoshimoto offered employment to anyone who wanted out, and the opposition completely dissolved. Yoshimoto continued to grow, and their Manzai comedians were especially popular. I'd like to note that Manzai was very different from today. Anyway, in just a little over a decade, Yoshimoto was now exponentially larger. Taizo had achieved his dream, helped hundreds of people reach theirs, and entertained millions. But it was short-lived. He died of a heart attack in 1924. Sei was grief-stricken, but officially took on the role of company president. She had her brothers assist her in managing the ever-expanding company, one in Tokyo and one in Osaka. Taizo's passing came at the dawn of a new technology, broadcast radio. Personally, I wonder what Taizo would have done. But Sei's brother, Shonosuke, feared the technology. He thought it would be the end of Yoshimoto. He thought no one would pay for their live shows when they could just hear it for free on the radio. He pushed Sei to ban all of their talents from appearing on radio. And, well, this was a really bad call. And as a result, some of their talents were lured to rival talent agencies. Shonosuke was furious at their lack of loyalty, but also furious at himself, as his first major decision kind of blew up in his face. He would soon redeem himself though. Seeing the popularity of Western culture in Japan, he thought Manzai needed to be modernized. He envisioned comedians in slick suits and sharp wit. He searched for a comedian that had knowledge of the West and found Yokoyama Entatsu. Entatsu had tried a new form of Manzai in 1919, but failed. Shonosuke ordered Entatsu to reunite with Achako, and together they developed modern Manzai. And at first, it didn't go over very well, mostly because it wasn't what the audience was expecting to see. Yoshimoto poured their efforts into promoting shabekuri Manzai, and later coined new kanji for it. With a proper promotion, Enatsu Achako pioneered this new form of comedy to great success. That same year, Shonosuke lifted the radio ban and started managing appearances on radio. Yoshimoto took management cuts and realized the publicity took their talent's popularity to new levels. They were finally making big-name comedians. On the whole, Yoshimoto in Osaka focused on comedy, and Yoshimoto Tokyo had focused more on music and dance performances. The company was huge, and they continued to expand their influence to sports, movies, and publications. In 1935, they had branches in 6 cities, 47 theaters, and employed over 1,300 talents. A few of them big stars. However, nationally, the wheels of war had started to turn, and Japan entered the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937, and then World War II. During war times, Yoshimoto was under censorship, but worked positively with national policies. They organized the Wadashi Squad, which they sent to China to entertain troops, produced movies that were in line with national policies, and organized a traveling roadshow of performers to entertain manual laborers and the general public. However, as the war continued, the country on the whole became devoid of laughter. Japan needed more soldiers. The conscription was sending younger and younger boys to war and recalling older men to once again serve. Even Shonosuke feared he would one day be forced into the military. The war nearly decimated Yoshimoto. Their theaters were burnt to the ground. Millions of people had lost their lives. Laughter has no place in war. And after the war, Shonosuke thought it was time to abandon comedy. He began working with Toho and designated his plots of land to be turned into movie theaters. And he began turning his talents into movie stars. In Tokyo, they began doing cabaret shows, specifically for the occupying Allied forces. Shonosuke's decisions had caused a rebirth in Yoshimoto, and in just a few years after the war, they were once again profitable. Sei was the last original member of Yoshimoto. She had seen her husband's dream realized and then burnt down, resurrected, but in a very different way. I wonder how she felt. She soon after died of tuberculosis. Shonosuke believed the future of Yoshimoto lied in movies. But soon, that would all change.